Hi guys, I am back with another video and this one is back on our favorite topic, which is everything related to Viking cruises. And I just really want to say thank you guys for supporting my channel because I obsess about travel. I think this is like a confession I'm making for one of the first times because I realized like I just like to plan travel and I love it. And so this video is just like the title says. This is something that makes the cost of Viking cruise, in my opinion, absolutely worth it. It is white glove treatment. And so I'm just going to talk for a minute about the the service level that you get from Viking Cruise that has nothing to do. It's not going to be printed anywhere. And I've looked. I didn't see this printed anywhere. And so this is something you don't really even find out until you have traveled on a Viking cruise. And so if you're sitting there like wondering what's the benefit of doing this versus this cruise or spending this money, I mean, they don't even really tell you about this being one of the reasons that you pay a premium. And so anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, this is a really good time to hit the notification button and to subscribe to the channel, because if you are like me, either maybe you don't have time to do all this detail work and searching and figuring things out. When I was in corporate America, there were a lot of trips I would just have to jump on the plane. I didn't have time to research it. There have been times that I've left countries off of business travel and I've thought, oh my goodness, like the US Open is going on right now. I didn't even get a chance to go because I didn't have time to plan. And so I can be your planner, your neurotic planner to go into all the details. So this is really about the white glove treatment that you get for just the travel portion of your Viking cruise. So this has nothing to do with what happens when you're on board of the boat. This is the level of service that you get from the moment that you land to the point that you get on the boat, and from the moment you get off the boat to the point of departure. Let me tell you why this is important if you care about premium service and white glove treatment. I'll just say a few of the top reasons that this is important. One, if you are on a Viking cruise, let's just be honest here. There is a strong chance that you might be an older traveler living the time of your life, or you may just be like a high maintenance traveler. Either one. But let's just call it what it is. I mean, it's not cheap to travel on Viking cruise. So you're going to either be at a point that you're not trying to travel and lug your bags around, or you're going to be at a point where maybe you just physically don't or can't carry your bags around. So let me just talk about what is really, really critical to know that they don't tell you. For us on our most recent Viking cruise, we traveled and of course we went to one connecting airport. But once we landed in Athens, they are very, very, very clear about putting your Viking tags on your luggage, which, obviously you think, well, that's going to help them to identify your bags. I did not touch my bag. Well, yeah, I didn't touch my bag, nor did my husband touch his bag at all, ladies and gentlemen, at all. Okay? At all. That's a big deal. You've traveled 14 hours, 9 hours, who knows how many hours. And so when we landed at our final destination, there was at least 3 people in the baggage claim area. 3 people. There were 4 people traveling during that flight to actually get on the transportation with Viking. So there were 3 people from Viking in the baggage claim area to assist 4 of us. So I'm just telling you guys, I'm just giving you guys, breaking it down. They waited at the bag carousel. They put our bags on the cart. Then there was another person that was standing not too far from the first person. They all walked us outside. They located the shuttle that we were on, the Viking van. They put all of our luggage in the van. The van took us to the boat. We walked on the boat. The original Viking team handed the bags to the other Viking team that was there at the boat. And then shortly thereafter, bags were delivered to the room. For me, that kind of white glove treatment starts my trip in a way that I can already start to, 1, relax, 2, it sets the tone on how you feel about the trip. So they get that right. So to me, that's the white glove treatment. And also the other thing that's really important about that is you're in a foreign country. Fortunately for me, I feel fairly comfortable traveling in a foreign country. I can use Google Translate. I can try to make some things out. But at the end of the day, you're still in a foreign country. So in the event that something goes wrong, that's when you really can tell the difference between your familiarity with systems, your familiarity with the language, your familiarity with other resources. So knowing that there's going to be a Viking team there, when it goes smoothly, it just feels like, you're like a king or a queen. But when it's not going smoothly, those same people are there to help you navigate the culture, the systems, the language. So it is like insurance. It's like experience insurance. Okay. If you've spent a lot of money on something, the last thing you want is for the experience to be compromised by a bad situation that happens that has nothing to do with Viking. So they have basically created a little bubble inside of the airports to make sure that their brand is fully on point before you get to them. Thumbs up. I'm a branding person, by the way. I have a PR and marketing firm. So I'm all about that. Okay, so I said this was going to be a short video. It's at 8 minutes. Obviously, it's not short. But if you want to hear the next part of this, I'm going to talk for a second about the return. If you don't want to hear that part of it, then this is a good time to like and subscribe to my shorter videos that will come next. And if you want to give me any things that you'd like to know about Viking travel or any travel, and I live in Dallas, if there's things you want to know about Dallas in particular, let me know. But I go all over, so let me know about New York or anywhere else, and I'd love to do a video on it. Okay, so we continue. On the return, obviously, like most cruises, you do have a time that you have to have your bags packed, and the time that you will be, debarking? I can't remember. Embarking, debarkation. Okay, tell me what the word is. Put it in the comments. I didn't know if it was going to be like a heavy travel day. But again, reverse of what I just told you. They don't forget that they are still in main character mode. They do not lose it on the ending. So they don't blow it on the landing. I'm using all the cliches. Everything is moved onto the van. Clearly, we talked about that. Yes, I know some of you guys are saying, oh, that's not a big deal. She's getting so excited about the basics. But you have been in situations where when it's over, You're the one like having to lug the suitcase across the cobblestone, figure out how to get in your taxi cab, get your transportation together. You're still hands off. You're not getting all hot and sweaty. It's loaded on the van. Now, that's kind of basic, right? When we got to the airport, I'm sitting there thinking, all right, they are parking kind of a long distance away from the airport. Well, like kind of like in a kind of a remote, not a super remote parking, but let's just say, I don't know, maybe 100, 200 feet. I don't know. It's not pulling up right at the gates. So we walked off and into the terminal, and the van that just has bags on it comes and delivers everyone's bag at the gate. Come on. So you don't even have to walk with your bag from the parking into the terminal itself. And once inside of the terminal, there is another person from Viking who helps you to locate where you go from there with your bags, which gate you need to check in at, and on and on. So you have basically a mini travel assist desk inside of the airport. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. Absolutely love it. You don't have to think about it. So if you are looking at, or if you have a trip coming up and you are wondering how that process is going to go, how it's going to work once you land, how it's going to work on your return, they really, really understate when they just say transfers to the boat. They really understate that. So you are going to be in good hands, and you really aren't going to have to do a lot of thinking about that piece. I will say, for those people who have decided not to book their tickets through Viking, you may have a slightly different experience than those of us who did book our flights through Viking, because all of that is an included part of the trip. But we did talk with a few people who used their travel agent instead of booking it through their Viking desk, and they were basically right there with us and on the same shuttle. So I think it's just a good question to ask now that you know that there is a very elevated level of support that you get when you book it all together. So I really appreciate you guys listening and tuning in. Hopefully you stayed to the end. And if you did, then subscribe and like so that you can get notifications. Thanks.